Hello, and we are live. Welcome to my first ever live stream on the channel. Today we are doing the Aftermath live. Make sure to like and subscribe if you are new here. I am recording on StreamYard. Oh, wrong one. Oh, shit. As you can see. Um, and yeah, hopefully this is the first of many. I am just going to check if the audio is okay by going on YouTube myself and figuring out if everyone can hear me because I can't tell through this. And I should have done a channel update. I will do a channel update, letting everyone know that these live streams will become more of a thing. But yeah, let's try and do this live, man. Let's try and do this live. Uh, it's funny. I'm typing in mics on YouTube on another account. I don't come up, so we're not quite there yet. Um, oh, my Brighton video's just come up. Let's see if this works. Um, Hold on, might be a bit of an echo. This, hold on. It does work. It does work. I've got to test that out. I had to had to test if the audio works as well. And the problem is, I use the thumbnails on my phone, so this is going to be a thing now. This is going to be a thing. And listen, when we move up in the world, we can get a microphone, we can get a green screen, we can do different things. But for now, I'm a man who has 206 subscribers and barely any money. So I will wait until I can upgrade and stuff and like that. But ultimately, I'm not expecting anyone to be watching live. So you're probably watching this on playback. So if you are, like the video and subscribe if you're new and turn your notifications on because going live will become more of a thing. And I will do a channel update. But we've gone 3 minutes in. So let's talk about the game yesterday and kind of do an overall, like, sort of, like, talk about it like we usually do in the Aftermath. I'm just going on Google. I'm just going to get the lineups up now. West Ham versus Brighton. What was the lineups? The lineup, obviously, we started with Ariola in goal, Ben Johnson, Mavropanos, Ogbonna, and Emerson in the back four, Edson Alvarez and Thomas Souček and James Ward-Prowse in the normal midfield. And because of injuries, we had Paquetá and Kudus out, so Fornals and Ben Rama were the wingers, which we'll come on to. And Jared Bowen was playing up front. They played, yeah, this was kind of the formation they played, but it was still a 4-2-3-1, their normal 4-2-3-1. I didn't really see much of Jack Kinchlewood, but Buonanotte was probably their best player on the night, in my opinion. Didn't see much of Pascal Gross, which is, I feel like if you keep him quiet, you've had a good game against Brighton because he doesn't have many quiet games. Adam Webster couldn't play the whole game, so they had to play a midfielder there. I think Jakob Moda ended up coming on at centre back. We did take advantage of the fact that they had a lack of centre backs, and they also had a lot of injuries themselves. Lewis Dunk was suspended from the Tottenham game. They changed goalkeepers quite a bit with Verbruggen. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And Jason Steele. I'd rather they started Verbruggen because they started him in the home game, I think. And he's more inexperienced. Jason Steele's experienced. Not the best goalkeeper in general, but does the whole distribution thing. And we've seen a couple of Brighton fans a bit salty about the way we play football and stuff like that. And about parking a bus at home and stuff like that. And listen, I agree with, I don't like it. But at the end of the day, if we had opened up, I guess in Moyes' mind, he's thinking we might lose the game by doing that. And I guess I get the logic. But trying to park the bus at home with no attacking intent, yeah. I'm trying to look. I don't look at stats often, but they had 22 shots in the end. We had 6 shots. That makes sense because I don't remember our 6 shots being that good. Just apart from the Souček one and the Mavropanos one, especially. I think we should have scored those. I think those were a must score in terms of scoring. And I haven't looked at the highlights back, and I'm not going to on this stream because this could all lag. But at the end of the day, you should be doing better with chances. You got to be doing better in general with these chances. Because I'm pretty sure the Mavropanos one was a free header. I'm pretty sure he wasn't even marked. And with the Thomas Souček one, That's his bread and butter. Like, that is his bread and butter. Like, you expect him to be scoring those. Because that's what he's there for, and I get it. He's got the 3.5-year contract. I'm not sure he deserves 3.5 years, but I think people are only going to go off this season. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure we've seen him back to his best. Like, just scoring goals again. That the guy can't pass the ball as a midfielder. It has to be said that he can't. He can ping one, but he doesn't do that anymore. Speaking of can't pass the ball, let's get on to the wingers. Benrahma and Fornals. How many times do I have to speak about Pablo Fornals? About him being overrated, because he is overrated. Thank you for the moment in Alkmaar. Thank you for, all you've done for this club, because you've done a lot for this club, but it's time to move you on. Like, you can take us to a level where, look at where we are now. If you want to, if we want to be ambitious, even more ambitious than we've been, and get higher, like, you never know, might be able to sneak a Champions League place. Don't see why we can't try for that. Then players like Fornals and Benrahma probably need to move on, to be honest. And it's just a case of final ball not being good enough. It's just a case of the quality not being there. And that's just the truth. That's the truth. And Benrahma can't shoot a ball for a winger. He cannot shoot. He cannot test the keeper. Bending it round the post and not really testing the keeper. The keeper's not really worried like that. Like, the ball's usually going either at the keeper or it's going over the bar. That's what Benrahma usually does. Like, that's just usually how he shoots. But I get bored of it, because when he can't take a man on 1v1 either, because he likes to twist in and out, and then and then if he's getting doubled up on, which at some points he was getting doubled up on, he's completely finished if he gets doubled up on. Like, you don't even really need two players to mark him. And Brighton are the best defensively. This is their first clean sheet of the season, so there was no pace on the counter. We needed pace. We needed Maxwell Cornet on a night. I'm sure you guys that watch the channel regularly, I'm sure you guys are sick of me talking about Maxwell Cornet. But that's the truth. Like, we needed someone like him. Someone with that technical ability, that final ball, that the shot that he has on him is actually really good. A player hasn't just disappeared there. It's just, when do people realize we don't give players chances sometimes? Like, I'm not saying Vlasic was a good player or like whatever, but we never got to see if he was a good player. We never got to see if Alex Krau was a good player. He got like 2 appearances here. He came up, he made like 1 Premier League appearance, Alex Krau, when he was here. I'm not saying we should have signed him or anything, but there was no point of stifling someone's career for a year if you're not going to play him. Because even if he was like, even if Souček and Bryce were injured that season, he would play like a Lanzini. He would play like a Mark Noble there at the time. But Mark Noble was still a good player then. But there was no point of loaning a player if you're not going to play him. And that was one of your typical West Ham United deadline day moves. And speaking of deadline day and like transfers and stuff, like, obviously Thilo Kehrer is going to go. He's going to go to Monaco. And Fabrizio Romano has recently reported that it's, like half an hour ago, it was like talking about how it's a loan to buy, but it might become mandatory depending on sporting targets. So maybe if Monaco reach the Champions League and stuff like that. I don't know what the sporting targets are, but that was just one that I was assuming that was going to be. But with Thilo Kehrer, he wasn't a good centre-back. I think he was an okay right-back. I get it if you're trying to move him on, but players like Ben Johnson would probably need to go. I think they're trying to sell him so we can actually bring in someone, but if it's a loan to mandatory, but we're not really making profit from that, so I would have just accepted a buy option. But Ben Johnson became our only available right-back yesterday, and he was actually playing quite well. It doesn't change my long-term opinion. I still think he needs to go, and he will go. And if he gets a new contract, I'll be... No, that's just bizarre to me. The guy can't cross a ball, but he put in a couple crosses yesterday that were good. And maybe he's just trying to play for a contract, but I don't trust him. However, on the other side, Emerson played really well as usual. He's been very consistent. Probably our player of the season, in my opinion. If you're talking about like when I look at player of the season, I look at like consistency, and Emerson's offered that. He's offered that, and you can't really argue with that, can you? And the thing is with Emerson, he plays like a winger going forward. So he would cut in if he wants to. He will go around the outside if he wants to. Remember, he played in the Euros final. This guy's won everything in Europe now. Won all the European trophies. Hasn't won the league, but I'm very happy with him. He's been a left back now. That type of left back that I've been looking for a long time now. In terms of putting out with Aaron Cresswell as a man who, even though we don't play attacking football, is a man who didn't like to overlap. A man who didn't really want to attack going forward in general. But that was Cresswell. Like, he couldn't really defend properly either. It's not like he was like, oh, he's good going forward, but he's bad defensively, or he's good defensively, but he's bad going forward. He had a good cross on him, and that was it. He could put the odd tackle in, but he was very reckless at times. Got targeted by every winger under the sun. I remember that game against Leeds where Rafinha tore him a new one. And sometimes he was he's just horrible to watch. I mean, you saw against Fulham when he had to come in, what happened. Luckily, he didn't play at Anfield. But if Ben Johnson's got an injury, Moyes is the kind of person to put Cresswell at centre-back and Ogbonna right centre-back and Mavropanos right back, or just play a 3 at the back and play Ford as right wing-back or something like that. Or he might... I know Ward-Prowse has played right back in the past. He'd probably do something like that. Anything to avoid putting a youngster in. So we'll see what happens in the FA Cup. I'm sure Johnson's fine, and I'm sure Soufal will be fine coming back because it's just an illness. I know there's stuff about his agent saying that he was unhappy talking about he wanted Soufal to get a better contract instead of a 1-year extension. Someone made a good point that don't agree to a 1-year extension, and it's just easy for the club to do that. Like, you got to think about it from the club's perspective. It's easy for him. It's easy. But that's the way it is. That's the way it is at the moment at West Ham. And there wasn't really much to talk about in terms of the game, like, because I think in the first half we could have put a few chances away. Areola made a couple of good saves around the back end of the first half. They put 22 shots on, and as like I would say the last 35 minutes of the second half especially, they were peppering shots. They were really targeting the left side, our left side, by whipping in crosses from their left side. James Milner did have the best of games, but he's played a lot of games. They didn't really get Estupinian in the game. They didn't really get Gilmore in the game. He's had a good season, by the way. João Pedro, good player, had a good season. Danny Welbeck usually scores against us. So in general, Brighton didn't really, I don't know, they didn't really do much, but they had a few shots. They didn't really play their scintillating football either. I think that's from playing so many games a week and lack of energy and stuff. They probably want another midfielder. I'm wondering why they're not playing Dahoud. Maybe he's just come back from an injury, but from what I've seen, he's a good player. I've only seen like a few games, to be honest. It's good that Moyes brought Divine Barber on, but we didn't really give him anything. He was kind of just an extra body there to defend. But overall, there wasn't really much to talk about. I'm just surprised that we kept 4 clean sheets in a row: Wolves, Man United, Arsenal, and Brighton. Hopefully that can carry on. We're the kind of team to do that and then concede against Sheffield United away. I am looking at that game more than the Bristol game because hopefully we win against Bristol City. Not saying it's a given because they'll be up for it. It's the FA Cup. And I think have they still got Nigel Pearson? Actually, no, Nigel Pearson might be sacked by now. I don't know who they have as manager now. But we're going into the Sheffield United game. Then we got Bournemouth in that midweek. Hopefully, we hopefully last 6 points because Bournemouth's a tough game. they're on form right now, and I know they lost to Tottenham, but they're on form as well. Can't look too far ahead, but those are the games coming up. But overall, that will be the end of it. That will be the end of this stream. I'm just gonna test it. I'm just testing it out, just getting used to the StreamYard life because that's what every football content creator is using. I know there's the powered by StreamYard thing, but I can't control that. Otherwise, I have to upgrade and pay money to upgrade my StreamYard stuff, but I don't have the money for that. But listen, make sure to like the stream and subscribe. I will add my social medias in the description if you want to follow me, and obviously the email for the inquiries. And yeah, turn your notifications on because this is the start of something new for this year for 2024. But I've been Mike's. See you guys later. Goodbye.